Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. Now, I really hope you're sitting down for this because I'm going to make a little confession, and I know you're going to be totally shocked. Would you believe that I've misplaced something? And not only did I misplace something, I forgot that I ever had it. And this is Exhibit A. Those of you who have watched my videos over the years maybe remember this, maybe remember me creating this more so than I did. But of course, as my cleaning, organizing, poking into places I haven't been for a long time continues, I found this. Now, it is it's out of a photo album, one of those with those, staticky or whatever whatever the scientific principle was to keep things in place behind that little overleaf. So of course that sticky stuff is not good for anything, and nobody uses those kind of albums anymore. So because of its nice large size and the fact that it was a binder type setup, I turned it into, and this is probably a year or two ago, turned it into the start of an art journal. And what I had done was pre-covered a lot of the pages with background material just so that, page is ready to go. So I have this on the other side. Totally forgot about this. But I came across this, I was looking through something and thought, okay, well, that's lovely. And it is lovely, if I do say so myself. But where in God's green how does that go? Where on earth is the actual album? This is kind of big. Something this big is kind of hard to misplace. So that is, I've kind of done a cursory look around. No luck so far. So obviously I'll keep you posted. Anyway, that's not how I intend. That's not the purpose of this video. This is, in fact, a follow-up Friday video in which I show you progress and or completion of things that I started in other videos. Now, I must say, misplacing something is one thing, very annoying, very much a time waster. But what is good in this little treasure hunt exploration thing that I'm doing is that I find other things. So in last week's follow-up Friday, I showed you the little books that I decorated. Well, I thought I was getting low on little books. No, I have all of these. Some of them don't have a cover, so to speak. So I may just remove it seems to me I did these last spring after I was recovering from surgery, and I couldn't do much of anything else other than sit, tear, and staple. So what I might do, I recharged the batteries in my lights and then forgot to turn them on. How's that? Anyway, what I might choose to do is remove the staple and add a real cover. And then even teeny weenier ones. And look at all the clips that I have sort of taken out of service because they're holding this stuff together. Anyway, so I found that. So in my spare time, I'll work on that. And the other, maybe even more exciting discovery was this thing. So this principle here is like a ball and socket. So it's like our shoulder joint. And unfortunately, the morning of or the day before I was taking part in that live Christmas hop through Maker's Market, I was putzing around trying to get my camera angle right because, of course, we shoot vertically in that case. And this is all, dare I say, shitty plastic. And on my other thing, I must have, you know, did it once too often. And this nut part here cracked right on one of these seams. So I tried E6000. I used an elastic band. My husband said, oh, electrical tape, that's going to be the cat's meow. Well, it wasn't. It overnight or whatever, it worked its way off because this, of course, is not, the sides are not parallel. So the other day at Winners, I bought a different kind of a phone stand. And because the guy, he suggested that when I said what my problem was. Anyway, I think I haven't tried that out yet, but I was relieved to find this. So we shall see. But anyway, that was the good news part of looking. Okay, now we finally can get to the purpose of today's video. So I have been putting things aside in one of those magazine holders to just, you know, because as I work on things, I kind of forget what you have seen and so on. So I did that video the other day on making full washi tape, and you saw me working with different sorts of pens. Well, after the camera stopped, I continued to play around with gelatos. And so this looks totally different. I don't think you had seen that one. I added some of that, whatever that color was, iced something or other, to this one. I think I played around with this on camera. This was still, oh, that paint. So that's Posca, but I don't know if you can see that there is, a, you know, that's going to fall off. So obviously that's a temporary solution there. And I then added something to this one as well. So I think that with these new expectations, I think I would probably do this again. I do want to use up my double-sided tape. Or I just decide that I need to start using the tape to actually hold things together. Now that, you know, what a revolutionary thought is that. Now, I have these. I will add them to my washi now that I've shown them to you, but I will also endeavor to use up the two-sided tape just for holding things together, because this, if you saw that video, it was many, many steps, drying time, and, you know, probably questionable results in the end anyway. So it's not, you know, we kind of have to pick and choose our battles. So that was probably a one-off. I'm not sure why I put these in that holder, other than I had been hanging on to these book page images forever and a day. And I just decided that I should back them. You can see that this came out of an old scrapbook, but of course this would either, no, it's probably too wide, of course, 3, 6, almost 7 inches. So this, I don't know what this would be. I can't exactly cut them in half. I won't put them this way. I don't know. These smaller ones, of course, can be, you know, something like this. I could either choose to back this, turn it into journaling card, or use it as a tuck spot, knowing that it's got good heft to it now, and it'll be fine. So I did do a wee bit of inking, and I obviously just tore the scrapbook pages. Now this scrapbook was from the 50s or 60s. So you can see this wants to break off, and it will, unless I get it glued down to a page pretty quick like. I don't, that's fine with me. I tried to pick a width, not thickness, a width of how much of this little matte part should show. I mean, it has to be wide enough so it's visible, but it also can't be so wide, especially since it is, fragile. So I think what I might do, since the color palette is right and the look is right, I might just put this with my the stuff I've gathered and those distressed journal things I've recently started. Not distressed, grungy. So I think that's where I'll put those. Okay, what else? I'm not sure if I talked about I don't even know what I was doing here. Other than I've shown you this black linen type paper before. I had a bunch of black and white fussy cuts, and I guess these would have been maybe punch outs from some sort of a scrapbooking kit. So I just created a folio page with fussy cuts and these potential little teensy-weensy journaling spots. And then this one, I used these, I think these were all separate. So I cut them out, I actually drew a line so it would be straight, and I glued them down in such a way that they could be a tuck spot, top and bottom. So I was pretty pleased with that. Now I suppose if I had just the right, if I had just the right size thing, I could put it in there as well and, really look like, is the kid talented or what? On the inside, I kind of just created this arrangement, and I just stuck these little bits in here to remind me that these are all side or top loading little teeny pockets. And I used 2 of the little banner things to make a tab. So I will add these to my black and white journal bins and call that done. I know I've shown you this in the past. This bingo card concept was something that Kim Newberg put together, and if I remember correctly, it was a freebie in her coffee shop. So the idea being that sometimes when we have a little teeny tiny thing and we don't know what to do with it, we can just put it on our bingo card. So because I was working on something else, which you may or may not recognize when you look at these bits here, maybe you haven't seen that video, or you won't have seen that video, I don't think. Anyway, this is a bit of, I added this the other day. A little scrap of wallpaper, some H stickers. This was a bit of, I don't know what I was doing there, but it was, it was there. This and this, these are gel prints, and maybe that was all I added. So this is the cutest little clipboard ever, obviously thrifted. And now in my new arrangement, I used a command strip type hook, so I can just hook it on here. It reminds me to keep, this is only my first bingo card. And you can see that I printed at least one more there. So I like the look of it. I like the concept behind it. So I want to keep that thing going. Sorry, I hit the gooseneck when I'm trying to hook this. Oh, I got it. So now that thing is out of the way. It's not getting damaged and so on. In last week's video, I showed you some of the ways that I use those alphabet stickers. And of course, I chose those because I've got it seems like millions of them. And that's why I use those H's there. In addition to where? You may remember that this was a Junk Journal July 2023 book that I started, and then I obviously didn't finish, so I thought, well, let's turn it into an art journal. And I've been doing collages in here. And of course, I'll never be able to use them because I've done both sides, which is goofy. Anyway, here's the page. This was really quite sparse looking. It was just basically, I just used some stamped elements and these little bits off. Actually, what's under here is CNIB, and there's a little braille tree there. Anyway, I used a bunch of those newsprint letters just randomly throughout the whole thing, just to, again, use them up. And I don't think I did anything else in here. No. So this one is still in play. Okay, and the final thing is, again, oh, I hope you've seen it. Geez, I should have looked at my, let me have a quick look at my, oh yes, you will have seen this video, prepping for the A to Z glue book. So, I'm not going to repeat everything that I did there. You know that I was sorting through my bags of color separated images. So after the camera turned off, I started, okay, I had pre-marked the pages, like I was devoting 2 pages to each letter. So on page B, I've got ballet and blue jay and blueberries and bags. But I'm thinking I was going to quickly glue them down. I'm thinking, well, that's a little premature. You don't know what other elements you're using. So, so far it's just in here. And the other thing I did was sort of file these things. L for lightning. Haven't had R for reflection. Haven't had a chance to really do anything more with that. But I decided that this is, I trimmed some of these things down. I decided that it was a way to move this process forward. Now, I haven't really watched any A to Z glue book videos, but I suspect, T for totem pole, T for train, I suspect that people work throughout the alphabet and do, you know, so, okay, so if I was working on this, I would probably do something like that. I would like this branch to sort of be anchored. Now, unfortunately, this guy would be, you know, he's so big that I don't like guys looking out of the picture plane, so he has to be more to this side. I could lose part of the branch and keep most of him on this side, and maybe that's the better thing. Just have that branch going the rest of the way. In past art journal things, you've seen where I've extended something like if this ends up being left there, you know, like maybe he's going after these blueberries, I would probably cover that up like so. And again, it's a little bit counterintuitive to me to glue this down, to glue in parts down without knowing the total direction that I'm going. But maybe that's where the challenge and the fun and the spontaneity is supposed to come from. So if you have done anything like the alphabetical glue book, you know, you can offer an opinion or tell me how most people do it. Again, I don't necessarily run with the cool kids, so I might just do my own thing anyway, but I do like to stay in the know. I like to be in the know, and then I like to ignore what I know. Whatever. So that's sort of where this stands. And I, as I'm talking to you, it helps me clarify my own thinking. So it almost feels as though, well, number one, I should fix his head feathers there. It almost feels like I should be gluing these initial pieces down and then doing the, boy, I need those thinning scissors that hairdressers have. And then let the challenge be in incorporating additional images as they come along. I know that people quite often say, well, I'm not done with this spread and I will add to it. But maybe they had enough to begin with. I wouldn't know that part. Maybe they had enough to begin with to start to get a decent sort of composition going, and then are just adding finishing touches. So again, I'm going to ponder this some more. I'm eager to get started with this, so I may leap before I look. But yeah, I just wanted to show you I have made a wee bit of progress on that. I do have, a number of things to fussy cut, but unfortunately, I'm getting to bed so late that, a person actually needs to sleep sometimes too, not just fussy cut and sort. I will show you one final thing, and then we're calling it a day. I don't believe that I have shown you my 2025 planner. This was the Reader's Digest Fun and Laughter book. I'd say that's a 2.5-inch spine. I've added 6 signatures. I may, just because I never use them, I did buy some, book corners, but I don't think I've ever used them. So what am I hanging on to them for? I did add the pocket. Oh, and I had such a time. Oh, I buy these little month at a glance calendars at Dollar Tree. I've trimmed them as much as I can. Now the pages are still a wee bit wide, so I usually end up folding them in some way. I've put in what I already know for dates, events, and so on. I spent so much time getting these pages to fit within the covers. Some I folded back. Some I after a while I just started tearing stuff. That is a practice that I think I really need to work on. It's I think we've all tried to figure out exactly what our pages should be. However, we know that if our signatures are a little too big, those inside pages on a signature get pushed out. So, and I mean, I've done that where I had all the pages perfect, and then you sew it in and you see, oh, heck, I have to go back and trim again. So that's why I don't spend a great deal of time getting my pages to what I believe is the perfect size initially, because it depends where within the signature a particular page might end. I am looking forward to starting this planner though, because I won't have to skim. I have nearly 1 page per day, so I can, and oh yes, that would count the signature covers. So I wouldn't write on this, but I would probably, I would tape my January down here. Or I don't know how I do it. Or maybe I would do it. In this case, maybe I would do it here. Anyway, you know, you still have time to get yours, to customize a planner for yourself for the coming year. I think it's a way to use up those Reader's Digest covers that so many of us have bought and hoarded. And it really gives, you know, it's certainly more affordable than buying a planner. Like a custom, not a custom made, but a factory made planner. And it also, I mean, we should be using what we make, right? Right. Okay, guys, I will keep you posted on whether, when, not if, but when I find the photo album that this thing goes into. I like the bigger size because, of course, sometimes a big girl like this wouldn't fit anywhere else. So, anyway, that is that. Thank you so much for being here. If you're liking the Follow-Up Friday format, please say so in the comments. I think it will be my intention to keep doing that because it does keep me a little more accountable. And as long as I corral these things, hopefully I'm not showing you the same thing more than once. Anyway, we shall see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.